and welcome to Izzy Does It. But we are flipping the script this week because Tiwin will be doing it while Izzy will be getting it.
Oh, wow. I will definitely be getting
it. Sound weird? But welcome, Izzy. You're in the hot spot this week.
Yes,
and
thank
so
you.
The reason why Izzy is in the hot spot, obviously, is because late last year, basically just before the new year, you had shared a very... How do I even begin to describe it? Very meaningful, very emotional. It was a post on Instagram that captured so many people's hearts. Like thousands of people saw it and reacted. And it was a story about you reuniting with your father, who you had not seen since you were like a year old.
Less than a year.
Yeah, he hadn't been in your life for... and you are how old now? Let's recap.
36 years old.
You're 36 now, and basically he hadn't been in your life for most of your life.
My whole life.
Yeah. And so that's a huge story. Like, obviously, everyone has a bajillion questions for you on, like, how that whole thing happened. Firstly, I want to say, like, thank you so much for sharing such a vulnerable story. And also, before we begin everything, let me just say, Sawadee ka.
Sawadee.
Sawadee ka.
I really need to start learning.
Sawadee mai.
See, I don't even know what you just said.
How are you?
Okay, good. Thank you.
Sawadee.
Yeah. I really need to start learning.
Okay, yeah. I mean, I only know one more sentence in Thai and that's it.
Okay.
That's all, yeah. So I'm only slightly ahead of you, just saying.
Yeah.
Okay, so in case you didn't know, Izzy is half Thai.
Yeah,
your
in
father
case people watch this blindly, they don't, what the hell are they talking about?
A little recap here. But okay, so basically, we're going to talk about the reunion, obviously.
Yeah.
But before we get into that, I really want to sort of get to know the boy before that, right? The boy, don't stop. You make the sad face, I'm going to make the sad. Yeah, let's get to know the boy who grew up without his father, right? Since he left before you were like a year old, at what age did you become aware that dads were a thing, that fathers were a thing?
Yeah. Okay, so, oh God, this is crazy.
That fathers were a thing and that yours was not in your life, you know?
Yeah. I don't know how the timeline was back then, but I grew up always thinking that my late stepfather was my father. Yeah, because after my real dad left, and then after years of my mom trying to look for him but couldn't find him, she moved on, she remarried. And then
How old were you when she remarried?
I don't know, actually. I really don't know. But my two sisters were born. And then ever since then, I've always thought that my late stepfather was my father. Until I found out, I still remember because it's a core memory, that I think it was during Raya. It was raining. We were driving in our old car. I think someone had brought up that, or I realized that my sister's last name was different than mine. So their last names were that something Binti Rosli Abidin Yahya. Meanwhile, mine was Karim. I was like, make it make sense. Why is that? Why is it different? So I mean, I remember my late stepdad was in the car. My mom was in the car. They were very careful about it, and I think I don't know if they expected me to ask that question so early on because I was really young. I remember I was really very young. I think less than 10 years old, Kale, at that point. And they told me so. My late stepdad was not my father, so that was a huge revelation to me. I was so shocked. And yeah, that's how I found out that my real dad is MIA.
Okay, so my initial framing, I thought that you had always sort of known that you had that your father was not. So you basically did grow up always having a father.
Yeah.
But at some point before you were 10, you realized that the father that you had known to be your father for your whole life was not actually your biological father.
Yeah.
For that to happen to you at such a young age, like, how do you even process all of that? Like, do you remember how it felt, feeling like, did you felt like you were lied to?
Not lied to. I don't know. I don't think I understood the concept of lying at that point because I mean life moved on macam normal, but what was normal to my experience. So macam I don't know. I can't remember if I already at that young age if I had the desire to want to know who my real dad was sudah ataupun balum. But I do remember like some core memories I remember was just that every single time me and my sisters fought, regardless of whose fault it was, whether it was my fault or my sister's fault, my stepdad whenever he took their side, in my head it was like, oh, because you're that's your real child. Because you would never take my side because I'm not your son. Yeah, so that was like I remember thinking that way. But obviously now that I'm an adult and like I think back, macam he was actually like he really there was no preferential treatment at all. He took care of me like I was his own son.
I mean, it's actually quite normal for children that have gone through some kind of big emotional wound like that we tend to like internalize the things that happen to us, and you try and find a reason for it, or but okay, so at this point you knew that you had a father that wasn't in your life. How did your mom explain that to you?
I cannot remember how exactly she said it, but and I can't remember now when exactly like she told me like he had left. And I remember it was a sit down, and I think I remember I had to be the one who asked. And if I didn't ask, I'm not sure if she would ever tell me. But I remember, I think also at a very, very young age, she told me that, yeah, my real dad had left. And then she went back and forth Brunei, Thailand to look for him. But again, there was not much that she could say or was willing to say at that point.
So she never explained that. She has no idea either why he left.
She has no idea why he left. And then I for the longest time I didn't believe her, but after like speaking to my dad, like he legit just up and left. Yeah.
Wow.
So that's why like now I feel extreme sympathy for my mom. I feel like I felt bad lah for my kira growing up, like kind of like not really blaming her. At some point I was like, is it me? Then ada je macam like, is it the environment je? Like there was, because again it was a mystery, right? So I was free to assume whatever.
Well, talk me through what were some of the questions that came up in your mind as you were figuring out what story you tell yourself about where your father
crazy.
went.
At some point, I was like, maybe he had to come back because he is part of a mafia leader gang. He was a leader of a mafia, and then like they would threaten him to come back because if he didn't, they would kill my mom and me. Like the stories I came up with when I was a kid was crazy, like bandar-bandar. Or maybe he was like married and then kedapatan, and then my mom was actually like a side chick maybe, and then lepas satu like he had to go back to his real family. So many Tiwin, like I don't even and it's so crazy. There was a point when I was like, oh, maybe this is like, I don't know if this is too explicit, but I used to, so as I was growing up with friends who know about my situation, I would just make jokes as like my coping mechanism. Oh, maybe he's like this, like a porn distributor in Thailand, because back then porn, like I don't know, Bangkok was associated with that kind of stuff. Maybe I don't know. Yeah, and then so I was just making up these jokes like, or maybe what if like he's like some beggar or something. Like it was just, again, I wasn't serious about these things. Like it was just like something that, again, like I was
Actually,
free
really
to.
could have been anybody.
Yeah, anybody, yeah.
I could have seen a Thai actor and be like, that could be.
Yeah, there was even like, oh, maybe he's like an entrepreneur, he's a big businessman, like. Because I didn't know, legit, I had zero information about this man.
No photographs?
So, other photographs, but again, it's like I didn't have context. It was like literally him just cradling me when I was a kid. Yeah, I shared on Instagram too. That's one of the very few photos I have of him, apart from the wedding photos of him and my mom, which was very lawa, by the way.
Was there anyone else, like aside from your mom? I'm sure there were other family members that knew him. So were there anyone else that could at least share some stories about, or were you allowed to even ask questions, or was it a little bit of like an elephant in the room?
It was an elephant in the room for sure.
Another thing I wanted to ask, this is getting a little bit into the emotional wound part, because like sometimes with children where parents have abandoned them or disappeared, there is a very pop culture term called daddy issues.
Yeah.
And I'm curious whether you encountered any of that, or whether any of those daddy issues showed up in your interpersonal relationships.
I have this group of friends that I frequently see lah. Basically, it's my main group of friends lah. And I sometimes after like a disagreement or an argument with the guys mainly, I would always like reflect like, why am I hard towards my guy friends, but why is it so easy, and why am I so forgiving to my female friends? And then like, because it got to a point where I'm like, I feel like I'm being mean to them. Like, why am I so jahat to them? Why is it so easy for me to get hurt? And it's not even anything. Sometimes it's just banter, but I took it personally. I took it seriously. So, I think I did. It was during the time when I did a lot of like self work and reflection too. So I realized I'm like, it could be because again, like I just have no trust when it comes to men in general, and that showed up in my male friendships. Because there's different levels to friendships, right? So the friends who I'm really really close to, who macam I spend time with all the time, tu aku macam I hold them accountable for everything. Tapi whereas like if I'm just casually friends with you, I'm like, oh, but whatever, you know. So it's this with these group of friends that I'm like, oh my god, like kenapa aku benar-benar macam like, you know, like a bit more tough and sometimes harsh on them. So I realized it's because I just don't trust them. I was like, they can leave me at any time they want, which is why sometimes in my early like teenage years I found it like very. I had to. I felt like I had to adjust myself a lot in order to keep a friendship, because I was like, what if they don't like me? What if they just don't want to be friends with me? Yeah. So yeah, it does show up in that. Like not just daddy issues, but abandonment issues as well. For example, right? I don't know how to change a tire. I would always like, oh, because I didn't have a father to teach me. And then like when it comes to macam sembayang Jumat apa, oh, I didn't have a father to bring me. So that would be my template answer. Which is why I said like I've made it my identity wa. Like macam this whole I never knew my dad. So macam it comes with all these like flaws.
Yeah.
As if I would be perfect if I had a dad, right? Macam that was my dulu lah, like how my mindset was.
But didn't your stepdad bring you sembayang Jumat?
Dulu. So okay,
Sorry, just a random fact checking.
Yeah. Okay, so this is just quickly touching on it. So my stepdad, my late stepdad and my mom had a really like tumultuous marriage. So they divorced when I was a kid, Jua.
Oh.
Yeah, so that's why the daddy issues, abandonment issues
times two.
Times two, because I was like, why has there no male figure in my life who stayed? That was a recurring theme. Macam they eventually always leave. So even itu tu, like, so yeah. So talking back to macam Boss Bang Jumat, maybe dulu masa Damin ada. I think. I can't remember. But again, he was absent most of the time because they had to live separately.
Yeah, I didn't realize that because I was going to ask, like, did having the presence of your stepfather, did that help heal some of those wounds? I was going to ask that.
Oh, yeah.
But knowing that, he left also. Well, maybe you can still answer that question.
Yeah.
Did his presence, at least in the early part of your life, help heal or help fill in the void that, that your father had left?
I think indahale. No, it didn't heal anything, if I'm being honest. But it's not on him though. It's like really just on me because I refused to maybe give him the opportunity to, or maybe he didn't have the opportunity to do it.
Given that your father left when you barely even would remember him, right? Did you ever miss him? Like, did you ever feel any kind of connection that you missed him, or did you miss an idea of him?
No, I don't think miss is the right word. It was more like he was a mystery. Like at some point I was like, did he really even exist? You know, I just didn't know. I really didn't know. Like macam, didn't know if he was alive or dead. Like I didn't know. I don't have any concrete backstory. I don't have proof that he lived, basically, or he even existed, apart from pictures. So macam it's like I don't know how to miss someone who I don't know, let alone like never had a relationship with. So yeah, no.
Did you ever wonder if any personal traits of yours came from him?
Interesting. After seeing him, yes. Before this, I was like, I'm all my mom.
Okay, so really he was just this mystery that was just in your life for most of the time. I want to touch a little bit about your Thai heritage and how that also affected life for you growing up, right? So not only was your father absent, but he was also of a completely different nationality. And for the first 25 years of your life, you held a Thai passport.
Yeah.
What was that like? And your siblings are all Bruneian.
Yeah, they're all Bruneian. Both my sisters are. It was when I was much younger, I was so embarrassed. I didn't want people to know I was half Thai because dulu, and again, I don't know if this is like internalized whatever. Tapi people just when people heard Thai or Indonesian, it was always being looked down upon. So much I was like, ugh. There was a point where I'm like, why can't I be half white? Ew. Saying that now it's like,
I
oh,
know.
you know, dulu tu okay lah.
Yeah, it's a
Macam now
colonial
it's like,
hangover.
I know. Now it's like, what the heck was I thinking? But masa damit, yeah, because again, kids were so mean back then. But as I grew older, I kind of like really like macam thought it was so cool that my IC was different than other people. And my passport was so different with other people too. Like I had a Thai passport, and on my Thai passport, nada my Melayu name, by the way. It was all my Thai name. And my IC was purple. Like it was, I thought it was cool, which is why like when my mom like literally had to drag me to go to the Thai embassy to like change my citizenship, I was like really like, ugh, can't be asked to do it because I was like, I don't wanna. But she kept telling me, space sandang nanti kau ni apa semua, blah, 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 which was true. Because I remember PMB, I think I had to pay. Yeah, because I was purple IC. Yeah. So she kind of like anticipated like, which I'm so grateful for now, by the way. And it's true, like having a Brunei passport and Brunei ICs helped me so much.
Especially with healthcare now.
Yeah, exactly. Did she see it? She like predicted the future?
I mean, generally, I think it would probably have been also just easier for her, you know, like just that peace of mind of.
True.
But I actually want to go back and touch on, you were saying that the kids were mean to you. Like, how did they know that you were
Well,
Thai?
first they were mean to me because I look Chinese. So sudah. That one already, they made fun of me because I didn't look Malay enough. And I remember, apa tu, was it a trip or something? I can't remember. So they found out, yeah, macam dorang macam ucap-ucap lah. Macam biasa, macam, kau anak Thailand or something.
So you are ethnically half Thai.
Yeah.
And your mom is?
My mom is, okay, so this is also a lot of people probably don't know. She's Chinese, but she was adopted by my grandfather. So she's kind of also Malay.
Okay.
Yeah. So I always make this joke. I'm Tai Chi.
You are. You're Tai Chi.
Yeah.
So you are actually not ethnically Malay at all.
Yeah.
But you're culturally Malay.
Very Bruneian, very Melayu Brabis. More Malay than the real Malays. Yeah.
So what did you ever, I mean, you mentioned that you were kind of embarrassed about your Thai identity all, but was there ever any curiosity or desire to like, hey, let me explore this side of my heritage?
Into. Like benar-benar indah. Because I think it was also carried like macam because of how I was treated, I kind of sort of viewed Thais in like a very like a negative light. And I was like, oh, macam, why are their accents so like feminine and so soft? It's such a like, ugh, you know. But now I'm like, oh, it's actually like really, they're very nice, courteous, polite, especially after my trip. That was an eye opener.
Was that your first trip to Thailand?
That was my first, my brain functioned like macam during that trip. Because I remember going to Thailand a while back, but it was like a nothing trip. Like I can't even for the life of me remember what I did except I went to Chak at that time. Yeah.
Okay.
So I was very young. Atupuni was like with I think when I was working in HSBC gitu, some people just wanted to go to Bangkok. I was like, okay, let's go. I joined. But like benar-benar nadalah that trip itu.
But did you feel anything when you were there? Like,
Not dong.
not even maybe like, hey, maybe I could run into my dad? Or, did you not think of him when you first visited?
In the Jua. And I think I went to Thai with a Thai passport. Time itu. I was very young. Yeah. So it was ages ago.
Were they just like, this is your
Hey,
first
welcome.
time being in your Thai passport, the first time you're in the country?
I was like, am I going to get greeted with like a red carpet?
Welcome, your homecoming.
Oh,
Still on the, just because I want to highlight a little bit more of maybe some of the challenges that people are like, unaware of about sort of growing up here and not being accepted as Bruneian for the first like 25 years. Did you feel any resentment towards that?
Atu mostly in the I think only when I was a kid kale. Sudah aku besar, like it wasn't such a big issue. Like I think even if macam people were still making fun of it, I was like, oh whatever, you know. As a young adult, I think I was more concerned about like the curiosity about my dad became like stronger. I just remembered when I was from my teenagers to my young adult lah. So
What'd you
macam
think?
my Thai side, I'm like whatever, but like I'm more like okay, wait, so where is he? Because I remember, like, I just remember I was in the living room. Estro tu tama-tamase. Like huge news broke out about the tsunami. I was like, oh my god, ilang ta chance ko ni, mati kaliya. Like swept away by the tsunami. And I think a few days later, like I think it was publicized that they released the names of because the tsunami not only like took the lives of the locals, but also because there were a lot of tourists who passed away, right, at that time. So I remember there was a website they were publicizing in, I think CNN ka ba, one of the news outlets lah. Because I was following the news. I was like, oh my god, is he like dead from this? I remember going on my phone, Nokia tamato. I just went to the website, scrolled down. I couldn't even because all the names were like in Thai. So I was like, no hope, man. But I just went down. I saw a lot of like macam orang putih punya nama and stuff. But I was like, yeah, this is hopeless. Yeah. And then it just moved on. Tapi macam masih je like that.
That must have felt like, did you feel really alone in that?
Yeah, there was nobody I could talk to. I think I was the only one who remembered that. I can't remember if I told my mom or asked her about it. Because at some point in my life, I did find out that he is based in Phuket. So I was like, oh my God, that did not help. Yeah. Because he's I don't know if this is
true. Did you know that before the tsunami?
Inda.
But how did you even get more information about him? Like that he was in
so
Phuket?
Yung actually, my mom over the years, she slowly starts giving me macam these little, like nuggets.
So you're right, she was holding out on you.
Oh yeah, that's why I was like, oh my God, like why can you not like tell me this earlier? Like every time I press her, macam hindi ko tahu niya, patid lagi. Like macam now I understand why. And I do want to talk about it later on. But dulu tu I was like, I thought she was being selfish. Like, come on, I want to know more about my dad. Like, at some point I was like, is it Yuka that maybe drove him out of Brunei? And that's why you're not willing to say. Because usually orang bersalah, obviously they won't want to say, right? So that was like, I was just trying to make sense of this whole thing. And then I remember this one time I was at Westmart. People who live in Rimba will know that shop. I received a phone call. And then I don't know what made me jump straight to the conclusion that was my dad. I was like, is this Karim ka atau apa ka, Chana ka, whatever. But spoiler alert, it wasn't him. I asked him. Yeah.
So you never know who that was.
Now we don't know who that was. I think it was a scammer. I was like, at that point, I was thinking anything.
But that just shows like your frame of mind, right? So when that happened, did you realize that you were maybe subconsciously waiting for him to come back?
Now in hindsight, back then I didn't realize it. Back then I was really like, I had no self-awareness. I don't know what I was thinking. But now, obviously at the back of my head, I was always like hoping for any day now. Back then, itulah. Yeah.
Okay. Just gonna gather myself a little bit.
Okay.
Wow. Okay. So you're saying in your 20s was when you started to feel more of that kind of internal pressure to want to find him.
Yeah.
Right? Like the thoughts started coming like, hey, where is he?
I think also because it was during that time when I was really going back and forth at Thai embassy. Oh yeah, so there's this part. The next logical thing to do is to ask the Thai embassy, right? If they know his whereabouts. It took them so long, and they couldn't. They don't know. They don't. He's like he really disappeared.
Considering that he lived here.
Yeah.
For some time, there was no records of.
Actually, now talking about it, now I think I know why they couldn't find him. Yeah, because spoiler alert, he actually changed his name.
Oh. Yeah. Okay.
I found out when I met him.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So I think now, it makes sense they couldn't find him. But they didn't have the berikut.
Also, I guess the surveillance state was not really in full force back in the 80s and 90s.
Satu kedua, we always forget that the population difference is massive.
Yeah.
I used to think like Thailand is like not that big. It's humongous. It's not easy to find people there.
Yeah, that's true. So, around this time, like, did you ever like fantasize about what it would be like to meet him and, how would that go?
I would always imagine it would be like a very emotional, angry reunion. Like, because I'm a very dramatic kid. I was like, why did you leave? I would always imagine it to be like that.
Okay, well, again, I guess it didn't end up like that.
It didn't end up like that. Which is why like divine timing, right?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, I met him at the right time.
Around that time when you were, still angsty about it and everything. Like, if let's say someone had said to you like, hey, this is where he is, would you have gone to find him, do you think?
Ooh, I actually don't know. If I were to be the old Izzy lagi semula, would I go ka? If I had the means to go, like if I could afford going.
Yeah.
Actually, old Izzy was crazy. He might have gone. But it would have been it would have been disastrous. It would have not been a good reunion. Yeah, I would just probably go there to tell him to F off.
Come back. Yeah.
Old Izzy.
I remember when we started hanging out, and I was always kind of be like, hey, Izzy, we should go to Bangkok, we should go try and find him, like make a documentary about it, all that kind of stuff. And I always felt like you were very kind of like, should I not, like there was something still really holding you back from going full 100% locked in, let me go and find him, why do you think that was?
I think I was being like hopeless. I think I was like, it's not gonna happen. Not gonna find him. I was like, that was always like, yeah. Tapi macam masih adalah sikit mau. But I was like, I was like, yeah, no. Nada kali harapan sudah.
Right.
Yeah.
At what point you say you were quite angsty in your 20s, right? And then you definitely seemed to calm down about it more since I've known you. Where did you put all of that anger? How did you deal with it?
I didn't necessarily put so much thought into benar-benar like macam this whole thing with my dad as I was growing up. There were days, yes, it was like so intense, like I want to see him, I want to meet him, I wondered about him. But most of my life, he was just at the back of my head. So macam when I did macam that self-work, it sort of like indirectly affected how I felt about his absence too. So macam I slowly detached the blame from not just him, but also from my mom. Yes, we are all like at some point parts of our parents, but growing up is our responsibility. Like we cannot keep holding our parents like accountable for the way our trauma shows up, our triggers up in semua. Like we need to again fix ourselves, right? It's not their job. Some people are blessed to have parents every step of the way. But again, at some point you really have to detach, right? You have to grow into your own person, be your own person. So I think I was on that journey. Um, yeah, because I remember COVID was so isolating. Like I didn't have anything to work on but myself. So I think that slowly like macam had a ripple effect across every single part of my life lah. My career, my dad situation ani lagi, friendships. Yeah. That was I feel like the pivotal moment when everything changed for me as a person.
And then last year, you said that you decided to just put it down and you're like, you know what? I'm going to stop.
So last year, I think early last year, Kale, I went through something personal. So I decided to pray tahajjud. And then one of the nights, my like conversations with, Allah, it was so casual. Again, the reason why I started tahajjud was because of something else entirely. I was like, Ya Allah, like I've accepted the fact that I'm not gonna see my dad in this lifetime. I'm okay with it. But if it's meant to be, I'll probably see him in the next life. Because I don't know if he was alive. I don't know if he's. I'm like, it's fine. I feel like I'm at a good place. My mom's healthy. My sisters have families. I'm in a good place too. I'm surrounded by amazing people. I'm doing what I love the most. So I was like, why, right? Like, it's okay. Just, yeah, it's fine.
That's amazing, Izzy, because to live with that kind of uncertainty and the question that's like that no closure for like your whole life, and for you to finally decide like, I've made peace with that.
Yeah.
I really hope that you are applauding yourself for that because that's really hard.
Yeah. I mean, at that time, it was like, I didn't think much of it. Because after that, subuh tidur, I forgot about it. Yeah.
And you really just forgot.
I literally just forgot. Like, banar-banar. Like, it was...
Like him being at the back of your mind all that time. Like,
Yeah.
did that stop?
It didn't stop. Like, I was still making jokes. I remember some friends went to Bangkok or something. Like the running joke with like me and my friends every time anyone goes to Bangkok, bah carikan bapak ko. Like that's fine. Carikan yeah. Like, but yeah. So that was still like happening. But the desire to like wanting to or macam waiting for that day to come was gone. It was like done because I was ready to just lock in on like this Izzy Does It and like trying to take care of my mom. Just basically thinking forward. Like there was no anchor like I was just done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then
Assalamualaikum. Hi everyone. I want to take this chance to remind you to hit the like button, subscribe, and leave a comment down below. Talking to your friends and family about Izzy Does It helps us reach new listeners who may enjoy the show as much as you do. And as you know, we recently launched our crowdfunding campaign to keep the show going, but this is entirely optional. Those who are willing and capable can transfer however much into the bank account in the description box below. And as usual, I want to thank you for your incredible support and hope you enjoy the show.
what happened, Izzy?
So a few months later after that, on 1st of May 2025, I just finished lunch at home. I was getting ready to go to a meeting, a 2 p.m. meeting. An old friend messaged me.
Bruneian friend?
Bruneian friend. Let me just open it. Yeah. Yeah, May 1st. Oh my God.
This is a friend that you've...
Okay,
An
so
old
this
friend, but someone you hadn't heard from in a while?
Yeah. So it's a she. I think I can say it. Basically, my friend Azimah lah. Azimah Ishak. I don't know if you know her. Azimah, okay. So Izzy, hi, I hope you're still using this number. So that goes to show how long we haven't got in touch. I said, hi, still using. Yeah, you busy. There's something I need to tell you. I can't decide if it's a meet-up face-to-face situation, but it is important, I think. And I don't want to catch out you because you seem busy with the filming and stuff, and I don't mean to sound dramatic. And I was like, when she messaged me, 1:13, I was like, do I want to lie on this now? Because I was getting ready for a meeting. But something, it's that inner, again, one of those things. I was like,
what was the first thing that went through your mind though?
in my head, the logical thing, assumption is like, okay, maybe she wants to share some good news, which is why I was like, oh my God, when she said that, she doesn't mean to sound dramatic. I was like, oh my God, you're pregnant.
That's okay. That's where your mind went.
Yeah, so I was like,
your dad was nowhere.
Nowhere.
In the
Bana, nowhere.
Right.
And then, yeah, no, I'm not. I was like, oh, okay. And then katanya, it's about you. It's like, huh? I said, you busy though, can I call? So, yeah, can. So I had a phone call with her. And she was, bless her though, she didn't know how to approach the subject. She did say like she had to ask another mutual friend if she should actually tell me about this whole situation that she wanted to tell me about. So I was like, Zima, like, come on, like, we know, like, whatever you're going to tell me, good or bad, I know it's not going to come from a bad place. Like, we're friends, So she was like, okay. So she's like, okay, her sister, Fiza. So remember these two names. Azima is her. Fiza is her sister. So Fiza is currently in Phuket. She arrived via cruise from Singapore because she's on a tour, what do you call that? Tour package. Yeah, so it's her and her friend/colleague. And she said, there's a guy here, their tour guide, who claims to be your dad.
Oh my God. That is insane. How did you process that?
I was like
when you heard Phuket first, did
yeah.
it?
I was speechless. I was shocked.
It didn't even go, my dad. No.
I was like, what? Where is this coming from? Okay, it's Fiza. Okay, kenapa? She's like, I was like, huh? Wait, what? Yeah, I don't know, Izzy. I'm so sorry. She kept apologizing. Kasi yan, bana-bana, like, I feel bad for her, but I had to assure her, it's like, because again,
was she worried he was like a con man?
I think both me and her were like, we don't, even her sister Fiza didn't know if it was a real thing or not. Come on, like, yang aku keep trying to imagine is how does her sister, who know of me obviously because I'm friends with her sister, but legit had to bear all of this, like macam apa kan ni? What am I getting myself into so randomly?
Like, how did it even come up?
Yeah. So okay, and then they told me the story. So katanya, he approached her because he saw that her name has Dayangku. So he was like, oh, I used to be married to a pangeran in Brunei, Pangeran Dayangku lah, ha? And then I think they were just like, I think in Fiza's head, it was just small talk kali saja, because they do that, I'm sure. And then, oh, yeah, ka siya pa. And then he was like, oh, I even have a son, but I have not, I can't, obviously I don't know what the word for word is, but basically he said he had a son and he has not seen his wife and his son for the longest time lah. And then so Fiza was like, really, do you have a picture? And then he showed, guess what he showed? He showed my Instagram to her.
So he has been a follower?
Yes.
This whole time?
Yes.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Wait, what? Oh my God.
So Fiza was like, I know him. He freaked out. He didn't expect that. So, but this was from her POV lah, huh? He was like, oh, I know him. He's my sister's friend. And then after that, like, macam he started like creating distance between the two of them. I think he really freaked out. I think he didn't expect someone to actually know.
He knows Brunei is small, right?
I mean, he hasn't been here in like, so I don't know.
I guess, but I feel like, everybody knows each other here. Okay.
Yeah. So,
wow.
So, yeah, and then so as Zima was sharing this news to me, I was like, damn, And then she proceeded to send pictures. So I saw pictures. I was like, he doesn't look like how I remembered him. Again, my reference was like a picture from like 30 years ago. So I understand that I guess people change. Usul dorang. So I was like, okay. And then again, like Zima just didn't know how to proceed lah. So yeah, she sent pictures, and then Fiza also took selfies with him. I'll share you after this. And then took a picture of like there's a paper stuck onto like the bus that says guide namanya Charlie and mobile numbernya. So I was like, oh god. Oh ni na. Ani numbernya pulang. Adia gitaw he left when he was just one, as in he left the son. And then after ya gitaw his ex was a pengiran ko. She took a picture of him like really far. Katanya kan I was just sitting there and he's just standing there. That's when I know he doesn't really want to talk to me about it. I think he was freaked out, brabis.
That's so interesting.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, the fact that he brought it up was him wanting to talk about it.
Yeah.
But then maybe it just got too real.
Yeah, for him. Yeah. Okay, so after that we hung up, and then I was like, okay, I had the option to not tell my mom or actually tell my mom because I know what my mom's reaction is, and I was right. So I was like, ah, ini akhir lagi meeting. Gagas. So I went down. I was like, Bo. And then I was like, Chana kan aku buka cerita ni. She was just there. I was like, so I was like, Bo, so I begitu lah, okay, kawanku, adiknya masa ni di Phuket. And then sekali ia terjumpa orang akun dia si Karim. Ya, ya. So I showed her the pictures. No, dia susul niya. My mom mandangnya tu, she would never believe. I was like, okay, whatever. But I said, yeah, di Phuket kan tepinya, bukannya di Pattaya kan. Aunya, ya kan aja di Phuket. I was like, oh. So I think that's when it solidified that I knew because when they were like Phuket, I was like, but he's from Pattaya though. I knew he was from Pattaya from my mom. I kind of not sure if he was working in Phuket or whatever lah.
So your mom was not accepting this information.
Yeah.
She was like, no, not him.
She was, not, nang chatu. I kind of knew already. And then so I was like, okay, I don't know what to do with this information, right? Like,
you had his phone number.
What next? Yeah, I had his phone number and I had zero intentions of texting him, by the way, at that point. Because again, I was like, I think for me, shit just got real too. And I was like, I don't know if I want to know. Because I was like, but I just told you. Allah. Like, I'm okay. Why are you doing this to me now?
I love that. But Allah,
yeah.
Like I
was like, what? Yeah, after that, it was like, okay, whatever lah. Like, macam, again, I don't know what
he was literally like a WhatsApp away.
Yeah, he was literally a WhatsApp away. But again, at that point, I was like, okay, no, I don't think I want to.
Why not?
Satu, I wasn't sure 100% if it was him. Kedua, if I'm being perfectly honest, I wasn't ready to deal with it emotionally. Yeah. Like, I sort of like buried 36 years of emotional whatever I was going through, like, safe. And then this happened, I was like, oh my gosh. It took me a while to get here. Do I really want to unearth this whatever, right?
Yeah.
And then sekali, okay, the funny thing is, next day I went to the gym. Again, so weird. So at the gym, as I was doing my hip thrust.
Thanks for the description.
Oh, aku macam... Yeah, yang macam I was thinking about the whole thing, the conversation with my friends apa semua. I was doing my hip thrust. I was like... Suddenly, again, like this thread. I was like, wait. Recently, there is an account that keeps liking every single thing that I post. My stories apa.
No.
Yeah. I was like, no. It stands out to me because satu, the username is panjang and it was foreign. But entah when I saw it dulu ato, I thought, oh, orang sasat ni dari Vietnam kali. Again, I didn't think it was from Thailand apa semua.
Yeah.
So I got curious. I looked. I was like, okay, cuba aku post something So I posted something. Lo and behold, that account liked it. Okay, I was like, because I don't check whoever likes my photos. People just randomly like apa semua. So I clicked on the profile when it liked. And then I went through the profile. I saw this post. I'll let you read it. This is the post that I was like, oh my God. Read it.
Okay. If my teary eyes can let me read, damit niya. Shall I read it out?
Yeah, you can.
So it's a photo of your father.
Yeah.
And on the photo, there's text. And it says, I'm very, very sorry for not being a good father. Never looked after you or raised you up and hurt your mother badly. Why am I reading this? You should be reading this.
Oh, you want me to read it?
Yes, you read it. I can't read it.
I'm very sorry for not being a good father, never looked after you or raised you up and hurt your mother badly. I'm okay if you don't accept me as your father or never forgive me, but at least I can say to you the words that is hidden deep within my heart. Congratulate you for the success of your career, and I do believe you will also be successful in your life. And then there's a comment that says, hope he will read it. I was like, God damn.
You see, how did that feel reading it? It's an out-of-body experience.
Yeah, very out of body.
Yeah.
Yeah, so macam even reading this, like macam I felt sad, extremely sad for him. So okay, so when I opened up his atukan, so naturally I went through the macam the DM section to see if he actually ever did send me anything. Back from bulan 3, May was when he met si Fiza ato. Back from March, he's reacting to my selfies, my podcasts.
Oh my God.
I showed my mom. She was like, "Ya kato," like macam I think my mom was a bit convinced. And at this point, me and my friends were also convinced. But I was like, and everyone was like asking me, obviously, like what I was gonna do with it. I just didn't know. I really didn't know what to do. At this point, it's either I respond to his DMs, not that it was anything pulang at that point lah, or message him, but I wasn't ready for either. Up until my birthday, he greeted me. He actually just said happy birthday to you, Atu Sija. And then I was like, oh my God, this was at 5th July. I don't know what came over me, but 7th July, I finally replied him. So this is our first interaction. Yeah, so I just said, thank you. My friend's sister told me about you. She said she met you when she was in Thailand. I'm not sure what to say, but are you really who you say you are? I remember he saw it, but he didn't reply. I think he freaked out, Kale. Right? Okay, so the next day, I woke up to his message and he said, yes, I'm your biological father. Please don't get me wrong. I want nothing from you but to say sorry to you and your mother. There is one serious mistake that I have made, was leaving you and your mother behind. I know it's hard to believe, but it's true. My English might not be that good, but everything I said is coming from my heart. Please forgive me, accept my apologies. I know it sounds stupid, but I cannot do anything better. It's your decision to tell your mother or not, because I don't know the situation there and she might be upset knowing I contact you. So I just replied, your English is good. I can understand you. I told my mom about you. An apology accepted from the both of us. It happened years ago, so she is not upset anymore. The past is the past. We are glad you're alive and well. Yeah. So I think between this, I think me and my mom had a conversation. I think obviously I told her about his reply, like him apologizing. And then for me, like, I think between all of this, like, all the questions from my friends were, Chanatene, like, if you see him, like, Chanatene, I was like, to be honest, at this point, I was still like a bit ego. I was like, I think I'm okay now knowing that he's alive. Like, macam, I don't have the desire to see him. This is me back then. I don't have the desire to see him, to reunite, because like I'm living a different life. He's living his life there. I think it's good that we both know that we are healthy and well. I was actually dreading it. I was like, I hope he doesn't ask to meet me or wants to meet me.
But were you having like a back and forth conversation after your birthday ato?
Tapi very like macam not consistent.
Was that because you were being inconsistent in replying?
In the job, I think it was like also like I meant it when I said like yes, I I moved on. Apologies accepted apa semua. That includes me not even asking him why he left. I didn't want to know. Yeah. I didn't want to burden him with like having to explain himself to me.
Oh, wow.
Because like I was like, okay, like he's my dad. I don't think he should explain anything to me. But I do believe that he owes more to my mom, more than to me, because he hurt her.
He did hurt you as well.
He did hurt me as well, but I think my mom went through more than I did, because if I were to like bigger picture, yeah, like we all say like, oh yeah, he left her, blah blah blah, but like I go back to like thinking like macam all those flights she had to take alone,
Yeah.
on boarding the plane, hoping to come back with good news, not just for her but her family, traveling alone, and then coming back looking at me as a baby, like having to, I don't know what she told herself or what she told me, like couldn't find your dad or something, you know, all those nights where she, I don't know if, I think kami ada amah pulang dulu to. But again, like that doesn't erase the fact that she had to, at some point before she remarried, had to take care of me on her own.
Of course, yeah.
Yeah, so I, again, like macam, those are the things that I feel like she deserves more from him. So from me, I'm like, only because I turned out okay that I feel like I don't need to know.
Right.
Yeah.
It's true. I mean, she was grieving like her loss, but also like the loss for you too, right? For not having
Yeah.
yeah.
And
That's
also macam, just imagine, right? Like what she was thinking, like macam, oh, when my son grows up, apa taku? How would I tell him? So macam, so now like whatever I felt tadi that I shared ato is now like coming like macam, okay, I have a different perspective now. Like I understand like if it's hurtful for her to relive all of those things. So macam, and again, like she grew up in a very different age than we did. Like unearthing trauma, hurt, ito is not normal for, you know, that generation. So yeah, like I've forgiven both. For her not like macam telling me all this stuff, or macam being more sympathetic towards my experience. Also him for like what he went through. Because just for full disclosure, I'm not gonna share what he said why he left, but it wasn't because of one major thing. It was just like his experience in general, and yeah, his experience in Brunei, and he just went through stuff personally too that he just decided to up and left. Again, like he did, I have sympathy for him, but he did admit as well, like it's not, it's a bad thing lah what he did to, like it's,
he's not making excuses
yeah,
for
he's
what
not
he
making
did.
it, he's actually owning up to it, and I do also acknowledge, as much as I have sympathy for him, like yeah, I said to him like, hey, it wasn't nice of you to do that. Yeah, but entah, according to, again, I can't force my mom to really tell me how she feels, right? But verbally she said she's okay, then I'll just have to accept that.
So you were fine with like, okay, my mom's forgiving you, I'm forgiving you. I don't need to know anymore. Like that's where you were at.
Yeah. I was genuinely just happy that, you know, to know that he survived the tsunami and COVID. Like he went through, we were both living individual lives. And I think about all the decisions that we made daily that led us here. It's actually a miracle.
Yeah.
Yeah. Even si Fiza to, like I met her recently, because to just thank her personally, like and I even atu pun, it took me a while to see her. Like I didn't meet her. Baru just end of last year I met her after I reunited with my dad. I didn't tell her anything because again it was like I didn't tell anybody anything, to be fair. Like it was such an emotional, like long story jua. But I made sure to tell her personally because she obviously was the one responsible.
Facilitated
Yeah.
that, yeah.
So
how did you go from not wanting to even ask him why he left to eventually meeting with him in Bangkok?
oh god, it was so funny. Again, this is a crazy story to win. Okay, so yang chalinya early of last year or mid kali my friend si Anwar, who I travel with other friends like Jua. He's just one of those who
Your
we travel with. Running friend.
running club, yeah.
Yeah, so he did say like macam, okay, so 2025 we had 2 trips planned. One Melbourne, the one that he's running with, and katanya he's planning to go either Hong Kong, Vietnam, or Bangkok in November because it was his block leave. So he asked me if I wanted to go. I was like, okay, yeah, sure. If I have leftovers from Melbourne, right? And this is to win. This was like before my dad contacted me, right? So Bangkok was always in the cards for me, but I just wasn't sure if I was financially able to go in November. It all was dependent on that Melbourne trip. So what I dreaded came true when my dad asked me if he could see me. So he said if it's okay with me, he wants to come to Brunei. So it's either he comes to Brunei or I go there, which he offered to pay for everything, my flight tickets, accommodation, everything lah, or we meet in Singapore halfway. And at that time, I was like, oh, do we need to? I was still like, I don't know.
What were you scared of?
I was scared of like, I think what counts with it emotionally. Kedua, again, I don't know what he wanted from me. So that was a big question. I was like, oh my God, is he gonna tell me he's sick or something? Like, or macam. But even after he assured like he wants nothing from me, he just wants to see me. So itulah again all these like nonsense that I came up with in my head that made me like macam oh. But also ultimately because I was like, is there really a need for us to see each other? Tamatulah ha, ego. And then so I told him, I was like, oh, I'm planning to go Melbourne. And my friend and I are thinking of going to Bangkok. My friend invited me to go to Bangkok. But I will let you know. So he sent me his dates that he was free. And ngam-ngam the dates atu andang my friend punya dates jua. It's so weird to it.
It's like, meant to be.
Banar-banar.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I was like, but okay. Left it, right? And then I think the entirety of me going to Melbourne in October didn't keep in touch at all. This is still on DM, by the way, and I have his WhatsApp. I have not texted his WhatsApp.
Oh wow!
That's how much space I've put between the two of us because I was afraid of being emotionally vulnerable, I guess. So, okay, Melbourne happened, and it was an expensive trip.
Yeah.
Overspent. So I was like, damn. No chance of going to Bangkok.
But he'd already offered to pay.
I would never. Tiwin, I would never take his money. I would never.
Why not?
I would never.
Really?
No, that was not an option for me. That was not an option. That was never an option.
You don't feel like that's owed to you for his absence?
He said that. He assured me in one of our text chains.
Yeah.
Like he did say like, Macham, I know you're a grown man, but like to me, to my eyes, you're still a kid. You're still, the boy that I left lah. So Macham, yeah, so katanya, just, let me. I was like, so I assured him, okay, so when I told him I couldn't make it and he offered to pay it, I was like, okay, not only because of money, but November was really busy for me work-wise. You can just ask Wafik. It was during the busiest time of our work stuff lah. And so much I was like, okay, maybe it's just not in the cards. And again, one of our conversations, me and Allah, was like, I was being honest with him. I was like, Ya Allah, if I were really to be honest with you, if I were to go to Bangkok, it's for the holiday, not to see my dad. But even that, I said, I don't think I can go. But I'm going to leave it open. If whatever happens, if an opportunity happens, I'll go. So even my friend, Noir, I told him like, oh, you just go ahead. Like, so at that point, he already bought his tickets. So I was set not going, sudah. And then one day, it was right here. I was doing my work. I just don't know. Something again came over me. And I was like, let me just check my bank account real quick. How expensive can Bangkok be, right? So I was like, okay, I have a clear budget. And I know money is coming in soon. I was expecting payment, but not soon to the point where I didn't expect it to arrive during my trip. So I would still have to manage my finances until the money comes in. But okay, this is the budget. If everything is within this budget, my travel accommodation, I'll go. So I checked the flight tickets. I was like, oh, actually, I don't have to go the same time as Noir. Like, he's there on his holiday. Let him be. I'm just there to... Honestly, I even said I was just trying to get it over and done with. I want to see him, and after done, you know? So I literally, my point was to go there, not even for anything, just to see him lah, to fulfill what he wanted. Because one thing that struck me when I had a conversation with my mom, he's like, bah, you know, whatever it is, indong mo juto yato. So that stuck with me. I was like, oh my God, that's true. Like, there's no excuse now. I have a dad. He wants to see me. I need to fulfill that as his son. I need to fulfill that, like, his want, right? So I was like, oh, fine, okay. And I guess his doa jua. But spoiler alert, he's not Muslim anymore. He's a Buddhist. But again, like, Allah, the way he works, we don't understand. He must have prayed hard for it. And yeah, when I checked the flight tickets, I was like, okay.
In your budget?
In my budget. Okay. Accommodation. Yang calinya, I ended up booking like this bougie hotel. That was Tiwin, I tell you, 6 nights at this hotel. Original price was 1.2 for 6 nights. 1.2. That's way beyond my budget. But for some reason, it was on discount. And my 6 nights ato, I only had to pay $400.
That's a huge discount.
Yeah.
Okay.
Again, within
so
my
all
budget.
of these things, I was like,
$800. Tickets was $400. If I'm
it was like, you're going.
I was like,
Everything was
no
conspiring to be like, no, Izzy, you're going.
Yeah, there's no reason now for me to not go. So I was like, bought the tickets taros, booked the accommodation taros, and then again, I didn't update him now, my dad. Yeah, I need to make sure I tell my mom first. That was my aim. I could not for the life of me tell him first, then my mom. That would be like a betrayal, right? So I went home, told my mom. She was like, oh, gagas johoni. Obviously, she's like pessimistic, but I know she doesn't mean it. It's just her lah. So got her approval, and then I told him. So unfortunately, na kanya bagi ako banyak dates kanya free from work because I told him I couldn't go. He booked those dates for work, except that one date, and that one date was the day after I land in Bangkok. So he would have to travel from Phuket to Bangkok that day to see me.
So now we need the details.
Okay.
So you're in your bougie hotel. Okay,
Yeah.
it's the day that your dad was gonna be. So he was only in Bangkok for one day.
Yeah, not even a full day. Like, okay, so we met 9:30. Had to leave by 4:30 to catch the flight back to Phuket.
Okay, well, don't rush.
Oh, okay. What do I mean?
Let's go back to so in the morning of.
Oh my God.
Talk us through.
Okay, actually
what
the
you
night.
were.
The night was so funny.
Oh, the night before. Yeah.
Because my friend Anang Sanas Dakan, he arrived way earlier. So that night he came over to my hotel. Because I brought. Okay, so I was like, what should I bring there? So I decided to bring my photo album from back then that I had of him. So I think one photo album was of him and my mom punya marriage, and others were baby photos of me, and then ada parts yang bawa aku to meet to hit his side of the family when I was less than a year old in Pattaya. So I was like, I don't know, maybe like just to test his knowledge. So that night off, I actually had cold feet. I was like to my friend Noir, can you help me check gambar my dad now and gambarnya dulu? Are you sure he's the same person? I was getting nervous. I was like, Noir, this is getting too good to be true. I was like, what if I again conspired this ridiculous story in my head? What if he's actually my dad's best friend who my dad like confided in? So now he's taking my dad's like life because my dad passed away. Like, again, a good story. Would have been a good story.
Yeah. What would have been the motivation though, Izzy?
I don't know. He wants something from
Just
me.
like so extra with identity theft. Trying to heal all the broken relationships left in the past.
Or my dad on his deathbed telling him, I don't know. I was
That's true.
telling
That's
myself,
true.
I was just so nervous.
Yeah.
Baru tako the cold feet. I was like, I think awal-awal ara DM dia berkata, okay, I'll come. I think katanya he will arrive around my hotel. Oh my God. Okay, so
So he was coming to your hotel.
Yeah, so I was like, where should we meet? That's easy for you. Katanya, I'll come to your hotel. I freaked out lagi Tiwin. I was like, I do not want him to come to the room. Obviously, he'll want an intimate and private setting, right? I was expecting him to be like emotional about it. I was still very chill, very cool. So I was like, I lied to him. I said, oh, let's meet at the lobby because I'm staying with my friend in the same room. But we weren't. So that was my first lie to him too.
Okay.
God bless him. I was like, okay, I'm starting to get cold feet. As like, you know, because from 11 a.m. ye chakap, he then told me, oh, he's gonna be there 9:30. I was like, I don't have time now. Like, oh my God. Like, I thought I have the whole morning to just like do some meditation and all that stuff. So now it's becoming like sooner.
Awal lagi.
Oh, nervous tako. So ita kutubriya to. Yeah, and then when I was pooping, he said, "I'm here." I was like,
Oh my God.
I was like, "Oh my
In
God!"
the middle, wow.
It did help pula. Macam bikin lancar pula. I was like, shit! I'm literally shitting my pants. I was so nervous, but I kept like, oh my God, I think he must be nervous too, especially, right? Yan na dadangan. Ako dadangan lagi. So I was like, okay, Izzy, let's just calm yourself. Like, but my brain could not stop working against me. My brain was like, Izzy, 36 years, finally. 36 years, finally. It kept repeating in my head. And I was like, stop, shut up. You know, I was like, oh. The walk from my room to the elevator was the longest walk. And then pressing lobby, going down,
Oh my God.
doors open, the first person I saw was him. And in that moment too, and that was when I was sure 110% that was my dad. Up until that point, I wasn't sure, right? But that was when I was like, yep.
How did you know? What did it feel like?
A familiarity. Yeah. The way he looked at me. And again, like he was more emotional than I was. But he was trying to hold his tears. Like he didn't cry in public. So we just hugged. We hugged. Let him take his time. Like rub his back. Like yeah, so when he like I could just he wipe his eyes like.
And you were not crying at all through any of this.
Yeah.
Like what was going on? Like, you know, you're hugging your father for the first time. Like what was going on for you?
So in my mind, I was like, I have to be strong for him. Like I have to be his like emotional safety net. Like I have to show up more together than him. Because I knew the guilt that he was carrying. I can only imagine. But like I felt like I just had to be more like well than him. So I was, and it gave him the space to talk. Yet I was sleep on his mom, which is my grandmother.
Oh wow,
Yeah,
she's still alive too.
She's still alive. I have a Thai grandma.
Wow.
Yeah, I have a Thai grandma.
So you hugged for like how long?
I don't know, but time stood still. I will never forget seeing his face.
I mean, what was his expression like?
He was just wiping his eyes.
He was crying.
Yeah. And then taros tipunya his mom. And then I couldn't because she doesn't speak English, so he had to translate whatever. And then we made small talk like, did you have to take a domestic flight here? I forget how big Thailand is, by the way. It's an hour flight from Phuket to Bangkok. So I was like, what? Like it's an hour? Macam paloy ako to like don't know my geography. And then so macam we just talk. Now it's all blur about the conversation because I was like, I was in disbelief. That's when I'm like, oh my God, I can't believe this is happening. I really can't believe this is happening.
Yeah.
I always joke like my life is a movie. It literally is. I was living that.
Yeah.
And then, so he just basically, again, like our conversation.
Did you feel comfortable immediately?
I felt comfortable. And I wanted to be comfortable because it was so important to me that he felt comfortable and safe to say whatever. So I was just hearing him out. I asked him here and there, like macam about his family, his background, apa.
Do you have any siblings? Like, did he remarry?
Yes.
Oh, he remarried. Okay.
Yeah, so he remarried. He remarried twice after my mom.
Okay.
This guy's a player. Yeah, he even admitted it. But like
he admitted to being a player.
He said that his previous wife said like he's a troublemaker.
Oh.
Yeah, but I got the context lah. Macam he shared with me like how his life was, growing up. His childhood apa semua. So
he grew up in Thailand.
He grew up in Yeah, Pattaya.
How did he end up in Brunei?
He met my mom.
Where did they meet?
Also, they met in Bangkok. In Thailand, actually, I don't know now specifically where, because he's been a tour guide for the longest time, except for when he went to Brunei, he took a different job lah.
So your mom met him when she was in Bangkok on holiday.
Yeah.
Did she ever tell you that?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, that one. Yes, she did. And plus, my mom was a flight attendant, so it was easy for her to fly lah back and forth. Yeah, that's how they met. And then they took a liking to each other. My dad cerita some cute stories of, how it was dating my mom dulu. Again, some things that my mom would never tell me. So katanya macam dulu-dulu tunya have to, kalau telefon macam overseas maximum 3 minit. Kalau more than 3 minit have to tambah coins lagi. He has to buy that card thing. Yeah. And then katanya kalau orang lain yang jawab telefonnya, payah lagi. Macam that was a wasted time. So dulu tu macam dating was very intentional. When you call someone overseas, macam they don't want to waste any second at all. I was like, oh my God, that's so. And I was like, but how did you guys plan? Macam when she visits, you just have to trust that she will show up lah, right? Kalau sanang landing, eSIM, and then I'm here, or whatever.
Yeah.
So dulu tu we take communication now so for granted.
You can't be flaky back then. You can't just be like, can't
Dulu
make
tu
it.
there's no chance to be flaky. Nowadays, I think that's why everyone's most people are flaky. They take communication so for granted. Yeah. So I was like, oh, that's nice to hear. I won't share much about his personal stories, and the one thing
can you share about his time in Brunei though?
Obviously his time in Brunei was so short. I was born exactly 9 months after they got married. Yeah, but obviously after that he went up and left. But just to generalize to give people context, because I don't want. I didn't ask him why he left, but he sort of offered that information to me. Again, it's not a one reason why he left. It's his experience in general was just not pleasant in Brunei. Because again, to give context, I would have to give context, right? Because he shared his childhood experience growing up in Pattaya. They live a very different lifestyle than us Bruneians. No matter how poor we are, the conditions there are much worse, right? Again, not to compare, but just to give context. So, when he met my mom and got married, and they moved to Brunei, it was hard for him to adapt. Not just to Brunei, but also to my mom's family. Some of them, my late grandfather, he doesn't speak English, so it was so hard to communicate. And then, kasi his experience working here was also macam payah, and he did say he wanted to bring my mom to Thailand, but he knew her family wouldn't let her, because sebenarnya if minus an outsider apa semua, they had a really comfortable life in Brunei, benarnya. Living around my late grandfather's house. But obviously it's more than that, right? Comfort is one thing, but also macam acceptance. So yeah, how he left was dulu ia kerja as a construction worker, and then one of the construction workers who was Thai passed away. So he had to send the body back to Thailand. So that's how he just took the opportunity, and then they just never came back.
Did he ever talk about his struggles with abandoning, his wife and kid?
Yeah. He was just. I think he was just broken. I think I can say that time he was just broken. I think he met my mom at a point where he hasn't fully dealt with the things that he went through when he was growing up, when he was younger, Joa. So that gave me a deeper understanding to who he is. But again, even me knowing of that, what he did was not right. But he sought forgiveness. He's now on a path to redemption. So, and I appreciated that. Not just to my mom, but to his so he remarried twice. Yang the second one niya cerai sudah. So he's now in his current marriage. So with the second wife, I have two siblings, a sister and a younger brother.
Do they know about you?
According to him, yes, they know. And then his current marriage, I have a younger sister. So she's the youngest.
How old is she?
I don't know. Yeah, I forgot.
Oh my God, you have like a whole other family.
Yeah. Banyak bini-bini, I just realized. Sini in Brunei, two sisters juga.
That's true.
So di sana, two sisters juga, but one...
But you have a brother.
I have a brother.
How'd that make you feel?
I mean, back then I would have appreciated it because dulu I would have much appreciated like a male companion, but now I'm like, I'm okay. Because di sini pun I have a younger brother actually from my stepdad, before he passed away, he remarried and they have a child. He has a child. So that's like my youngest brother. But yeah, I'm okay. I have not reached out to them. I don't know how they feel about me. So
would you be interested in meeting up with them?
Oh yeah, 100%. If they want to. Yeah, I'm not gonna force it on them.
Yeah.
But,
do they live in Phuket as well?
The second wife, I'm not sure, but the third one, yes, because that's what he's with them now, right?
Right.
Yeah, but his family, his mom, my grandmother, is in Pattaya. Yeah. I also got to know his siblings, as in my uncles and aunties. So he has one brother, two sisters. Yeah. So the brother is in construction. I have a aunt who's a nurse, and then the other one, she migrated to Japan because she married a Japanese.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So it was like, oh my God, I have this whole other like life, which is so cool.
Did you ask him things about sometimes we forget that like a lot of the, what we inherit from our parents is like the health stuff, Have you ever asked him like, hey, what diseases do you have that I need to look out for?
Actually, I mean, I asked him in general, like, are you healthy? He's like, yeah, he's healthy. But recently I found out he has hypertension.
As does everybody at this point, I feel like.
Yeah. And then, but okay, so some of the things, one of the things I guess I can share are similarities. I was like, oh my God, like, no wonder that's where I get it from. And no wonder those things trigger my mom too. One of the things is that my dad also didn't finish school. And then kedua, he told me when he was in Brunei, he hated going to family functions. I was like, oh my God, same. I hated going to family functions.
Oh my gosh.
I was like, yeah, so I see a lot of similarities in like stubbornness. I feel like I got that from him in terms of like freedom, not wanting to live the same life that other people live or like what's expected of you. I get that from him 100%. Getting to know him, right? Like, oh God, this is a proper human being with like lived life. So macam hearing his story, like he could have honestly became anything, but he stayed to being a tour guide because he really enjoyed the job. So I was like, okay, that's same. I was like, well, same with me. Like if I decide to stop Izzy Does It now and work for whatever, I can, But again, I decided to choose the hard life. The kind of hard that I'm willing to go through.
But meaningful for you and fulfilling.
And meaningful for him too.
I was going to ask about how he found you.
Okay, this is crazy. So, rupanya he found me lama sudah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Even before he started following you and sending you...
He found me on Facebook.
Oh.
He found me on Facebook. Back when, Facebook was a thing. Gila pulang Tiwin. I posted my passport photo on Facebook. That's how he knew it was me.
Oh,
simple.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. And also he found...
But he looked you up by your name lah. I mean, he knew your name, right?
Yeah. And he also found... Because dulu my Facebook open kan private.
How long ago was that, Facebook?
Bata habis
Okay.
Yeah. And
so he's been watching you from a distance.
Yes.
This whole time.
But he wasn't ready to... Again, he was like he was on the road to like self-discovery or something. And then, he found me on Facebook. How he verified it was me was my passport photo and the photo of my mom. He still recognizes her. Yeah. So that's how he found me. And then I guess I don't know how long he kept tabs on me for. I didn't ask him that. But obviously like my IG pun, especially now with Izzy Does It, it's like my friends and I tested, right? If we just search my name, it's not hard to look for me.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah. As opposed to me searching for his name, again, dead end. Yeah. So
But what made him, do you know what made him actually start to
Yeah, because he's on
reach
a
out and, on the spiritual journey?
yeah, he on a path, like he said, he's getting older now, like he wants to atone for the things that he's done, the hurt that he's caused. I was like, that's good, and I guess that's how it came to be. Like macam our reunion itu was perfectly timed. It was at a time where he was ready to face what he had done, and I was also ready to receive him in a accepting way.
Yeah, non-resentful.
Non-resentful, no anger.
And so, what, you spent the day together?
Yeah, so
Okay, what did you
he
get
was
up
so
to?
nice. Oh my god. Tiwin, at so many moments I had to pinch myself like I'm actually walking with my dad. Ito rasanya ni baba papa. Like our conversation, I was like,
Oh,
is this what kids like son and dads talk about? Like then I was like, oh my god, macam why does it feel like so weird, Like our first meal again, he didn't let me pay for anything. Yeah, kasiyan lang. Like I was
what else
very
did you guys talk about?
a lot of like macam getting to know the lore. But again, like it was on a limited time too.
Must have been felt so much. Did it feel rushed because he had to
Actually,
leave?
no. Like we
Inda.
were like chill. There was space for macam us just sitting there. Like I think he was also like trying to just again. I think at that point, remember I was like, oh, I'm okay. He's living his life. I'm living my life. I'm bong. I was like, I definitely need to come back to have more conversations with him to get to know him. I want to get to know this person in front of me, and I want to meet, he keeps saying like the rest of the family, they're all excited to see me. I'm honestly actually nervous. I don't know if I'm ready to see like the rest of the family, but I just want to spend more time with him. I just want to get to know him.
Yeah.
Yeah. Catch up on all those years that we've lost. Yeah.
It's crazy because you're basically now, like, you've opened this portal into this whole other huge part of your life that you've just never had.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I don't even know how your mind can process even everything, like how big it is.
Yeah.
Right? That you have a grandmother that's still alive, that you just have all these people who, like, ancestrally you come from, right? Like, these people are your heritage as well. They're also your history. And, like, you actually have access to that now. That's incredible.
Yeah.
What are your plans like in the future?
Obviously, I do hope like whenever I can, I want to travel to see him.
Do you keep in touch regularly still?
Yeah. And sometimes I have to, again, like, there are pinch me moments when I receive a WhatsApp notification and, like, it's him. I was like,
What is he saved as on your phone?
Dad, heart. Because my mom
Dad and a
babu
heart.
heart.
Oh my gosh,
Yeah.
guys.
Yo, this is how ambong I was, okay? I was like, when we were talking to each other, I was like, I don't know if I should address him as whatever. Like, I was like, Dad macam doesn't sound natural. Tapi, the message though. So when I came back, when I left, balik ke Brunei, he sent me a really like nice message that I was like, oh my god, but Izzy sudah tah. Just lower your ego, lower your boundary, like call him dad. He sent me a really loving message that I was like, gila, aku bayang ambong ni benar.
Oh, I can see the dad with the heart emoji. Okay. I'm on the way to the airport now. My flight back to Brunei is at 1:30 p.m. Have a safe flight home. Okay, this is the dad talking, okay? Dad with heart emoji, okay? Have a safe flight home. Remember, Thailand is also your home. Everyone is looking forward to meet you. Send my best regards to your mom for me and tell her that I am thank you for everything she has done for you. Love you, my son, Izzy. Oh my God, could I read your message?
Yeah.
Will do and thank you. I am leaving with a heavy heart, but I look forward to coming back again. I'm really happy we met after so long. Love you too, Dad.
That's when I decided. I was like, I'm gonna call him dad.
And that's your first time.
That was my
calling
first
him
time calling
Dad.
him dad.
Did it feel like a big moment while you were typing that? That like, oh, I'm gonna.
Yeah, it was. But
What
yeah.
did you,
So
just out of curiosity, what did you call your stepdad before?
Baba. Yeah. And again, like the two most, like I have so many important figures in my life who, alhamdulillah, are still here. But the two that I feel really sad that I'm not able to share this with is my late stepdad. Ato, like, and my late grandfather, like, they don't know how much I owe them for the life that I have right now, especially like my late grandfather and also my late stepdad, for who I took for granted back then. Like benar-benar one of the core memories has got to be like macam they were already separated, living separately. Like it was my birthday, and then he messaged me happy birthday and asked what I want, and I told him I want a PS2. I was like, he's not gonna get me a PS2. Like, and then he ended up buying me PS2 with like that came with like 10 games for free.
Wow.
Yeah, so
That's a lot to a kid.
yeah, that's a lot. I was like, oh, okay, thank you.
Did you feel like you never got to communicate to him how much you appreciated him?
On his deathbed, I could, but I'm not sure if he could hear me. Yeah. He was a journalist. He was a journalist. That's why I always like tell myself like if he was still alive, he would be so proud of me for doing this. He would even have his own podcast, honestly. Like he's
You'd be co-hosting.
yeah, no, because he was very like again, I think I get some of his traits too. He was so outspoken. Like he was well respected in the journalism industry. He was an author. Rosli Abedin Yahya, if anyone knows who he is, like yeah. And he was very smart too. He was I think one of the first few Bruneians who got a scholarship to study to UK. Yeah. But again, like macam like back then I didn't understand it, but now I understand that just because me and you don't work, it doesn't mean I'm a bad person. It's just the relationship doesn't work. It doesn't mean individually we're bad people. But I couldn't understand it back then, which is why I'm always like on my mom's side and stuff like that. But
Yeah.
but
Well, it takes maturity.
it takes
to also
maturity.
understand that, right?
Unfortunately, sometimes a bit too late.
Fortunately, there's still time for you to bond and heal with your dad. Do you know what the Thai word for father is? Like how would
No, actually,
you call him that in Thai?
I didn't even think about that.
Sorry, I'm also still processing all of this
I
information.
know it's heavy, right?
It's really feel good,
yeah.
you know? And I think everyone also really latched on to the story because we're all in need of feel good stories and some
Yeah.
positivity and, and also just like a nice reminder that people can grow and change, right? And mature and own up to their mistakes. Sorry, you were gonna say something.
I just want to share, like, after I posted that, right, a couple of people reached out to me, and I feel a bit of like, not guilt, a bit of guilt, but also like macam so much sympathy because there's this one girl who, actually, I don't know if it was a girl now. Yeah, it was a girl. I saw the profile picture. She was like, "Oh, Izzy, how did you find your dad?" Because like she's on the journey to find her dad too. And I was like, "Oh my god."
Oh my god, that's right. I mean, your post got so many.
Yeah.
How many likes did you even get on that post?
I think right now it's on 5K.
That's yeah. I mean, and the impact of that and how other people will then see their story and your story.
Yeah.
What did you say to
5K.
her?
So I had to tell her like the truth lah. I was like, I didn't find him. He found me, but like, just trust in divine timing and continue to make dua. I told her like sometimes when you pray for something, it means that you're not ready to receive it. You have to somehow just be okay with not having it, and then Allah will meet you where you are when He feels like you're ready, and then it's not you who decides when you're ready. I feel like it's Allah. When He knows that you're ready wholeheartedly, He will make that happen. Whatever you're praying for.
Absolutely. I completely
Right?
understand.
Yeah.
Because sometimes when you want something too much, you're too attached
Yes.
to it. You're attached to whatever outcome that you think,
Yeah.
And so when you actually get to a place, because I've experienced this many times in my life where I've made peace with something that I wanted and I'm like, you know what? Actually, maybe I'm okay with not getting it. And you really make peace with that and you let go. And when you let go, you give it space
Yep.
to actually come.
Yeah.
So
And then it does. And it always comes in ways you could have never imagined it to come. Like sometimes we try to plot our own stories and try to, because we humans, I don't think we are conditioned to be able to comprehend uncertainty. We always have to, with movies, there are endings. With Atu life, there's an ending. But when we live it ourselves, we don't know how our story is gonna end. Or sometimes we think we know how it's going to end, but actually it's not.
Actually, we really are not in control of very much about our
Benar-benar
lives.
indah.
And everything is actually like temporary. I think people also forget that. I think
Yeah.
everyone, because we want to feel stable and secure, right? So we
Yeah.
want to just like, okay,
Yep.
this is what life is, and they don't want any surprises or anything. But that's just not what life is like. Like
Yeah.
it's, you are gonna have your ups and downs, and you really not be in control of that. And so I think you've handled this journey like so beautifully. I am curious about the lack of crying though. I wonder whether there's still a part of you that is trying to protect that little boy.
I think, okay, so, I mean, okay, that's a lie that if I said never cried, but the times that I've cried are during my prayers lah. Like I cried. When I'm like grateful, I express it to Allah in my prayers, and I think that's when I cry. That's the time when I'm like crying. Yeah. And I don't mean to be emotionless because
I'm just joking. I'm not saying
no,
you're
but it's true
emotional.
pulang. Now looking back, benar pulang. Like when I met my dad, I didn't cry. When we had to part ways, at the last hour, because he had to take a flight back to Phuket, I hugged him. I was like, again, like I mean it. Like there's, no resentment, no whatever. Like I'm happy that you're alive. I'm happy that you're well. And then I just hugged him, and then he macam cried. And then he walked away outside of it's called a BTS train. Yeah. It was really like a movie when that happened. Like macam seeing him walk out. But
Did he do like a last turn way?
no, I think he was trying to, because his whole face turned red. I think he was trying to contain himself too.
I wonder whether, like, in this next stage, because, right now it's a lot of adjusting to this new reality where your identity for so long was like, I'm the guy that didn't have a dad, and now you do have a dad. And so I wonder how, the rest of your life is going to go now with this new story, and how that, how these changes will then also continue to shape the rest of your story.
I think honestly, this is making me like want to make more conscious effort to like have a deeper relationship with my mom, because now that I've understood what she went through my dad indirectly, like imagining all the years like she had to deal with being abandoned and marriage just not working out. So because now it's like, now actually going forward, like currently I am more like, because I text with my dad a lot, right? He told me he has hypertension. Now I'm like, okay, you need to take care of yourself. We both need to take care of ourselves, because like we need to stay healthy so that we can have more time together. Like now it's like macam takut ko aku. He's over there doing God knows what. I mean, obviously I know he's like working, but like I mean like day to day, it's not like I come home to him and like, oh, I know what you did. But also trying to balance that relationship. Like, because my mom does ask me, like, macam, apa tak masih tak sekarang message kau? He calls her. I was like, oh, jangan terlalu. I was like, what do you mean by that? Yeah, but that's my mom. That's why I don't think she means it. But again, like that makes me like very conscious of like, I don't want her to think that just because I've reunited with my dad, like I'm gonna love her any less. If not, I actually love her more now. Because
you should tell her.
Yeah, I mean, I'm in the process of that. Like again, we're not like that family who hugs each other, who says I love you. We don't do that. But hopefully, again, the thing is, what I've believed for so long has now changed. Because dulu I thought like, I view parents as like, I think we all view parents as people who should have known better, people who should have known what to do, how to act around their children, because they've spent so much of our lives telling us what to do. So now with the whole situation with my dad, I'm like, we're all here doing things for the first time. It's their first time being parents, grandparents, their first time going through divorce, if they're going through divorce, their first time handling like when something bad happens to us. They really just don't know what to do, and they have to like figure shit out too. The same with us, so that like I've achieved huge empathy for everybody, Especially now my friends are becoming parents too. So I've witnessed like, okay, there's no playbook on how to actually be a parent, be a good parent lagi. You know, it's so easy for us. Like, my mom should have done this, should have told me, should have been more open. But like, she's going through her own thing too. Same with my dad. He shouldn't have left. Yeah, he shouldn't have. But like, when you live in the current moment, it's like, actually things work out the way they're supposed to. I don't know if I'm going to be able to live this life if he hadn't left. I would have probably been a spoiled child, you know?
Yeah, I mean, who knows, right?
Who
Like, what is the,
knows? Yeah.
yeah.
So I think with whatever is happening, again, like, we always know how it's going to end up with our parents. But like, you don't know, one day they will wake up, they will be different. Benar-benar. Like my dad, he found me so long ago. Had I known that information and he didn't reach out, I was like, oh, he just doesn't want to find me. But like, something happened between him and whatever that made him want to finally like be ready to reach out to me.
And
right?
timing wise as well, like, hey, you know, he could have continued sending you reactions that you never even saw, right? It's only because of him meeting Fiza that,
Yeah, that kickstart.
yeah.
Yeah,
So
everything.
again, you know, I think the big thing is it's going back to this feeling of we want to be in control to make sure that we're right. But the real peaceful and liberating thing is to kind of just, again, trust in Allah, trust in the process, and that things are happening as they're meant to.
And and always make dua. Just pray for it. But don't pray for it like to the point where your life depends on that prayer, because then Allah's be like, if I give you this, you're gonna forget about me. You know? You have to want it enough, but okay to not to live without it.
Right. It's a
sort of.
very gentle balance
Very
of
gentle.
wanting it.
I feel like I cracked it, but I was
versus,
like, macam balum jua.
It also depends. No, I felt like I've cracked it
Right?
sometimes, but then there will be other things.
Other
that
things.
you're like, oh no, I haven't cracked. You know where I've really cracked it?
What?
Parking.
I love
Always
it.
get
Yeah.
good park. And I found that every time I've just
Okay.
really found a good balance with that. But then there are things that you want more than, you know what I mean? That's more
Yes.
important to you.
Yep.
And so it's not always, even if you've cracked it once,
Yeah.
like
It doesn't
it's not
mean
always
it's so different.
the way. Yeah.
Yeah.
And especially something so deeply emotional like this, like that's really hard. So for you to get to that point, only for all of this to happen after that, is really kind of like, a testament to that theory, right? So, wow.
Yeah, I do hope that everyone who's going through the same thing, like a mother messaged me because she was like, her son is adopted because his real parents, like, didn't want anything to do with him. So she was afraid that he would feel what I felt, which is like a huge void growing up. I don't know if my reply was comforting, but I was like, you just need to let him go through it. And at least the person who DM me, who the adopted parent is aware enough and loves him enough to say all those things to me, right? At least that's a good indication that you love him so much unconditionally.
Yeah.
So I was like, just let him know and be there. I even like, if I was like, should he want anyone to talk to? I mean, actually, anyone who's going through the same thing as I did, like whoever needs chat with me, I'm more than happy, because truly, like, I do feel like this is a very niche community of abandoned kids by both parents or by a parent that people don't talk about.
Niche, but more common than people realize.
Yeah. Right? And again, like, sometimes I'm also like, I'm very aware that my story is like very few because it's a happy ending. So many people don't get that.
Yeah.
So sometimes I'm like, I want to find a way on how to make them realize that, yes, it'll be nice, but why I got to this place is because I was okay if he wasn't around anyway.
Yeah.
So I do hope that people... It's so weird, right? Macam saying it out loud, macam like, not that I'm saying like you should be able to live without your parent or never knowing who they are, but
also not to say like, oh, you have to do this in this very exact way so that you can somehow, like make it so that you do end up meeting them, right? Like you just can't manipulate
really
the process
cannot.
in that way.
Yeah.
And if you even never end up meeting your parent, like
it's just meant to be.
Then you also have to trust that like that's also for your own good. It's for your own protection, which is hard.
It's
this is
really
not to
hard.
say
Which
that
is why,
that's
like,
easy.
whoever wants to talk, I'm more than That's the only time I'll reply my
Call
DM.
555.
673 IZZY. Yeah, no, but seriously, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's great that you're, willing to put out your mentoring other,
maybe just
but just being a comforting,
yeah,
because even for, as you said, that mother that reached out, like maybe she doesn't really
know how
to, yeah. But I think at least talking about it to let the kid know, like, hey, this is something that has happened, and like, I don't. You're gonna feel certain things about it, and that's normal, right? I think that could also been a big help in this kind of situation to just sort of give the kids a heads up, like that, these are the questions you might have and all that stuff, and actually it's like completely normal.
Yeah.
I mean, for you as well, like, do you think that had you had more conversations about your dad, like that could have helped ease the angst a little bit?
I don't think anything would have made me any what would satisfy that. It really is just like everything that happened in my life that brought me to a place where I was like, okay, if I didn't meet him in this lifetime, like I was actually like really okay, like genuinely. My riziki is like the people around me, my family, my friends, bana. Like, I think the reason why I've grown up so much is like I've seen the guys in my friend group and it as like models of how being a man should be, if I'm wording it right. I think they are the only constant in my life, male figures in my life, apart from my cousins, obviously. But these are people who I have no blood with, who chooses every single time to still be friends with me, regardless of how I treat them, how I speak to them. But they keep coming back for some reason. And I think that subconsciously made me like, maybe I do believe that Allah put them in my life for this very reason. They're so gentle with their wife, their significant others. They have so much patience and they're so forgiving. And I mean, they were the ones who inspired me to start praying. So much that already says a lot. And how to treat others and how to treat yourselves. Like I not look up to them, but I look to them for like sort of like inspiration. Like, okay, they handled this conflict not the way I would have liked it to, because I'm very straightforward. I want to talk it out. I want to hold you accountable. But some of them, like, they're very patient. They're very forgiving. They're very gentle. The way I'm saying it, as if they're perfect. They're not perfect at all. Yeah, they do have their flaws.
Sure.
But they are who I hope I can be. When one day when I settle down, or when I'm going through some stuff, because like, these people, they probably look to their dads, for example. That's where I'm getting it, if I'm making sense.
Right.
Obviously they model after their parents too, but also like who they are as a person and who they're with, their wives and stuff like that. Kind of make them who they are. So for me, like, okay, one, I really don't have my dad to to know. So like
they're your found family.
Yeah. If anything, they have a really positive influence in my life. Sembahyang, being active, like with my career as well, they're helping so much, like emotional support, like having good time. They also humble me with their banter, like making sure I don't forget where I come from.
Yeah.
Yeah, but those are that's the kind of relationship you want, not someone who's like gonna kiss your ass all the time.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. So I really feel like a lot of my growth come from that too. Again, not discounting the females in my life. They are obviously contribute to so much too. Like Fatin is, again, like someone who I always have gone through, like in terms of like our faith journey, rediscovering Islam. Like we're on the same boat all the time. Like my mom, like her strength. I think all of that really helped me lah. Like it's really hard for me to like take full credit of like, oh, I did this by myself. You know, it's everything around me.
But of course, I mean, it's a delusion to think we do anything by ourselves.
Yeah.
And I think like just because, relationships can be a big factor as to what hurts us, like people also forget that relationships can also heal us. Right? And that's, I think, the danger of sometimes people get so hurt from certain relationships and they close off. But really, like, it's with other people that we also find our healing. So I love that, this journey has been full of people who've really loved you. And continue to show you support. And you also have a ton of, like, your audience that also love you, Izzy. And we're so happy for you.
Oh, my God.
Yeah. You've really been keeping this close to your chest.
Yeah.
I've met Izzy several times, since the big news. And I was like, okay, just I have not asked any questions, saving it for this.
Yeah.
So, thank you so much for sharing this really precious story.
Thank you.
And we look forward to, Izzy's reality show with his dad, travels and
documentary.
Like, no, reality show.
Yeah.
He's a tour guide, right? Like, you should do a little tour, Thai embassy sponsored. Hey. Right?
I need to get in touch with Thai embassy.
And
I
just
hope
be
the
like,
ladies
Izzy
will
does
there.
Phuket.
Yeah.
Izzy does Pattaya.
Yeah.
Pattaya, how do you?
I do want to shout out though. So my dad and his brother built a backpackers hostel.
Ooh.
It's opening up soon.
Okay.
Yeah, right now it's still like for friends and family to try out first to make sure they improve anything in terms of like the water works, the electricity, the cleanliness. So once they've gotten enough, like they feel like they're confident, it's gonna be open to public. It's gonna be on Agoda, Booking.com.
Oh, wow.
So I do want to help them promote once it's like fully up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's so cute. Do you know what it's called?
Not yet. They're still coming up with that. So my younger sister, because she's taking like art in her studies, so my dad said he asked her to design the look. So I'm very excited to see how it all turned out.
That's so cute.
And I'm gonna post
and
that.
if anyone's traveling to Phuket,
Yeah,
hey,
please.
hit up Charlie.
Yeah.
Wait, what is his actual
Charlie.
Thai name?
Oh, I still haven't gotten around to get used to his new name. But
why did he change his name?
Okay, because of some family drama.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Yeah. So his name on my birth certificate is Chana, Chana, Chana Hongcharan.
Chana Hong Charan.
Yeah. So to his like clients, customers, he just introduces himself as Charlie because it's easier.
Is there anything you want to sort of end on? Like, any message you want to give to the audience or
oh my God.
just, any words of wisdom from this
Yeah.
experience that you want to share?
I think obviously like I feel the highest like gratitude towards everybody who received the story so well. I just hope that people who hear about my story, I hope you don't give up hope. You really just don't know how Allah operates. None of us, it's too much for our tiny brain to comprehend, Benar-benar, just make dua, release, trust in Him. Things will always work out how they should be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everything that happens is for your own good. That's what I tell myself.
Even though it
Even the bad
seems
stuff.
bad.
Yeah. Even the bad stuff. Ultimately, it will still be in your favor. Yeah. So, okay.
Thank you. That was a
Thank
long
you.
ass message.
It was great. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you for tuning in to Tiwin Does It with Izzy. Why does that always...